The film begins in ancient times, in a city called Prague. A voiceover tells us that when people were dying from diseases and plagues in Europe, and the problems were not reducing, the Jews decided to practice Kabbalah. This was their ritual in which they called upon a protector to free them from their troubles. We see a scene of a synagogue at night where the Jews are praying. At this time, mutilated bodies were lying everywhere. When the Rebbe, the Jewish leader, enters the synagogue through the stairs and looks at the dead bodies, he sees Golem standing in the darkness, the creature they had called for protection by performing the ritual. But because the ritual went wrong, this Golem caused even more destruction, killing all the people inside the synagogue who had taken part. The rabbi, terrified, tries to speak to Golem. At that moment, a small girl enters the synagogue, holding a weapon, ready to kill Golem. The rabbi warns her to leave, but the girl keeps moving forward, fearless. From outside the synagogue window, we see Golem brutally kill the rabbi, and then the scene cuts without showing what happened next. Now we're taken to a Jewish village in the year 1673, where we meet Hannah, the main character of this story. It is revealed that Hannah lost her son 7 years ago. She has never recovered from that grief. Since then, she has secretly been taking medicines to prevent pregnancy, hiding this from everyone. Not because she did not want another child, but because she feared that if she had one, he would also die. She could not bear that pain again. Unaware of this, her husband Benjamin still hoped their family would one day be complete. But Hannah had turned her focus elsewhere. She had developed a passion for studying her religion. Even though women were not allowed in the synagogue, Hannah would secretly hide in the chamber below, listening carefully and memorizing every word spoken by the rabbi. Hannah also wanted to learn about Kabbalah, a subject people had stopped discussing for centuries. Since Benjamin was the son of a rabbi, he would steal books from the synagogue for her. He knew she wanted to study their religion, and he supported her in hopes that she would move on from her grief. But both knew that no one must discover Hannah's secret studies, or it would cause a serious problem. One day, while Hannah was inside the synagogue, Benjamin's father stopped him. He said, "It has been 7 years since your son died. You should move on. If your family is not complete with Hannah, you should marry someone else." Hearing this, Benjamin replied, "I will wait for my family to be complete, but I will not leave Hannah because I love her." Hearing this, Hannah felt proud of him. The next day, Benjamin stole a special book for Hannah at her request. It contained everything about Kabbalah, including the ritual used to call a protector. He warned her, "This is dangerous. I have heard Kabbalah can take lives. Whoever performs it risks their own life." But Benjamin's warning did not change Hannah's mind. She had already decided what she had to do. The next day, we see Hannah with her sister. Since her sister was about to get married, they visited the lake to enjoy old memories. As they talked, they noticed a man from Saad's village watching them strangely. Frightened, they quickly returned to their own village. It is revealed this man was from a Christian village where an epidemic was killing people. The plague had spread everywhere except Hannah's village. Days pass, and the day of Hannah's sister's wedding arrives. While the villagers celebrate, a group of strangers enters the village. They are from the same Christian village suffering from the plague. Their leader brings his sick daughter, places her on a table, and accuses the Jews of practicing black magic to keep themselves safe. He claims their sorcery is spreading the plague everywhere else, since only their village remains untouched. The rabbi calmly explains, "It is not our fault. The villages where the plague spreads are closely connected, and the people constantly visit each other. That is why it spreads there. Our village is isolated, and we rarely meet outsiders. That is why we are safe." But the Christian leader does not care for explanations. He demands that whatever ritual they use for protection must also be done on his daughter to save her. To prove his threat, he kills a villager, then warns, "If my daughter does not get better soon, I will kill every one of you." Fear spreads among the Jews. The bride becomes angry and shouts at them to leave. One of the Christian men kicks her in the stomach while another woman pushes her back. Then a villager named Abigail steps forward and tells the leader, "I will treat your daughter." He agrees, but only under one condition. No one from the village is allowed to leave until his daughter recovers. If she heals, he will spare them. If she dies, he will kill them all. Later, all the men gather inside the synagogue, while the women wait anxiously outside. Everyone looks to the rabbi for guidance. He says, "This is a test from God, and the answer is not through fighting." The villagers agree, but Hannah does not. She storms inside and says, "You are wrong. They threatened us. They plan to kill us. Should we just die? No, we must fight back, and not only with weapons. We can use our powers as in the past. We can perform Kabbalah and call Golem the protector." Her confidence shocks everyone. Benjamin begs her to stay quiet, but she refuses. She explains that Golem is a creature made of clay, a doll brought to life by prayers. In earlier times, they were created during wars. Golem protected Jews in times of battles, plagues, and disasters, taking all suffering upon himself. He is powerful and loyal, but also dangerous. If the Creator loses control, Golem can turn against his own people. That had already happened once, when a failed ritual caused Golem to massacre Jews. Most villagers had never heard of Golem, so Hannah offered to create him herself. She would take the risk. Shocked, the rabbi asked how she knew such deep secrets of their faith. "Even if you build the Golem," he said, "who will give it life?" Hannah replied with confidence, "I will." The rabbi mocked her, saying, "You could not even give a child to my son, and you think you can give life to Golem." Humiliated, Benjamin dragged Hannah out. That night, Hannah's sister, pregnant at the time, suffered a tragedy. Because of the earlier kick from the Christian man, her unborn child had died, and she needed urgent treatment outside the village. But no one dared to help, fearing the Christian leader's warning. Seeing her sister's condition, Hannah decided she must create Golem. She sneaked into the synagogue, stole ritual books, and copied the incantations onto a scroll. She went into the forest, shaped a doll out of clay, carved Jewish symbols on its head, placed the scroll in its mouth, drew protective symbols around it, and set the circle on fire. She chanted prayers until she collapsed. The next morning, she awoke confused, remembering everything, but nothing had changed. The doll remained lifeless. Angry, she returned home. While bathing, she heard strange sounds. Investigating, she discovered Benjamin had found the medicines she had hidden. Realizing she had secretly prevented pregnancy, he felt betrayed and left without a word. Alone, Hannah kept hearing noises. She went to the forest and saw a mud-covered child holding the clay doll she had made for her dead son. Shocked, she believed her son had returned. When she turned around, the child vanished. Returning to the ritual site, she saw the doll missing. Suddenly, men from the Christian village caught her, accusing her of trying to escape. They hanged her. But before she died, an unseen force attacked them, killing them brutally. Hannah fell to the ground and saw the mud-covered child approach and touch her head. Terrified, she realized this was Golem, the being she had created. Her ritual had succeeded. Overjoyed, she hugged him and secretly took him home. Meanwhile, the men prayed in the synagogue, believing God would save them. But Hannah cared only for Golem. She bathed him, dressed him in her dead son's clothes, and grew emotionally attached, treating him as her child. Abigail visited her and discovered Golem. She warned, "This is not a protector. This is a soulless monster. It will destroy us all. Bringing it into the world is like making a pact with the devil." She begged Hannah to kill him, but Hannah refused. She believed Golem could heal the Christian leader's daughter and save their people. Abigail then revealed the truth. The Golem from the beginning of the movie was created by her village when she was a child. She was the little girl who killed him, but too late. He had already destroyed her entire village, even their rabbi. That was why she feared Golem so deeply. She begged Hannah to destroy him when the time came. She explained, "He cannot die like a human. To kill him, you must take the scroll from his mouth into your own." To test this, Hannah threw Golem into water, stabbed him, but nothing harmed him. She knew Abigail was right. That night, Hannah saw Benjamin with another woman and grew jealous. Her anger flowed into Golem, who felt what she felt. She realized Golem was linked to her soul. She nearly attacked Benjamin with a knife, but looking at Golem, she stopped, believing she no longer needed anyone except him. The next morning, her neighbor was found brutally murdered. Hannah knew Golem was responsible, but the villagers blamed the Christians, fueling anger. A fight soon broke out. During battle, the Christians killed Hannah's brother-in-law and nearly killed Benjamin, but Golem appeared, decapitating their enemies. The Christians fired at him, but bullets could not kill him. Hannah also felt the pain of the shots in her chest, proving their connection. Suddenly, the Christian leader's daughter recovered. Hannah told him, "Look, your daughter is healing. Leave us now as promised." He silently left, and the villagers praised Golem as a hero. That night, Benjamin apologized to Hannah and she forgave him. But Golem, unable to accept Benjamin, injured him in secret. Hannah felt the same pain. Later, as Benjamin played a melody, both Hannah and Golem calmed, sharing a moment of peace. But in the night, Abigail sneaked in to kill Golem, believing the danger was over. Before she could, Golem killed her brutally. In the morning, Benjamin realized why no one spoke of Kabbalah anymore, because Golem was not only a protector but also a destroyer. He warned Hannah, but she refused to abandon Golem. Desperate, Benjamin told his father, and the rabbi prepared a ritual to kill Golem. Benjamin lured him into the synagogue with music. Once inside, the doors were sealed and the ritual began. Golem screamed in pain, and Hannah, feeling it too, rushed there but could not get inside. At that moment, the Christian leader's daughter suddenly died. Furious, he marched his army to the Jewish village, setting fire to houses and killing villagers. When Hannah was attacked, Golem emerged, slaughtering the soldiers, even tearing the Christian leader's heart out. But the destruction overwhelmed Hannah. She realized this was all happening because of her. Golem came to her lovingly, but Benjamin shouted from afar, "He is not our son. He is the cause of this destruction." Hannah finally understood. No one could replace her dead child. Though she loved Golem, she knew what she had to do. Hugging him one last time, she pulled the scroll from his mouth. He turned to dust in her hands. Heartbroken, she collapsed, and Benjamin comforted her. In the post-credit scene, we see the same scroll in the hands of a little girl whose family had been killed by Golem. And with this, the story ends.